This video is basically put together to explain how to replace the thermocouple and pilot light assembly that's in here on a A O Smith, and you can look for this model number FCV 4100. So basically give you some direction on how to do that. First thing you're going to do is turn off your gas here by turning that valve, and then you'll turn your basically your gas valve on your thermostat. You'll turn that all the way to off. Be your first things, and then you'll remove this cover plate, which is pretty easy to remove. You just squeeze, pull it off, and we'll start basically unbolting these pieces here, and then removing the ignition there. And basically what happened, the thermocouple went bad, which is this piece right here that as you can see goes in. It went bad, which basically meant I wasn't getting hot water. The thermocouple basically, as long as it's warm, gas will flow into the thermostat and down into the burner. But as soon as that thermocouple goes bad, it'll shut the gas off to your burner as well as your pilot light. So if those are your symptoms, that's what you got to do is replace that thermocouple. And on this particular model, you got to really replace this whole assembly. So I'll explain that, and then you'll also be able to order these parts online. Essentially what I did was Googled FCV 4100, and I was able to get a parts list online, and with that parts list I was able to order the parts through a company online. So I'll I guess start explaining the demolition and construction here in a second. So essentially here's your thermocouple, and that's what's gone bad. And after you've unscrewed this piece, this fitting and this fitting, these are ready to come out. And then I'll just pull this wire loose. And then of course next step is to get these off. But I wanted to show you kind of what this looks like with all the pieces out. So next step. So I've already taken this nut off, and I've loosened this one. Just kind of wanted to show you, really how simple this is. Now this is pretty loose in there at that point, so it's pretty easy to pop out. So next thing is I'll just make sure and unhook the igniter button, and I'll be ready to remove that whole assembly. So that's pretty easy. You just unhook that piece there, and then this wire is free. And essentially from this rubber piece on is what I'll be replacing. But now I can work this last piece out here. That's the hard part. And this whole assembly comes out. And what we'll be replacing is this piece. If you can see that, we'll be replacing these three pieces right here. And I've ordered those online. It took a few days to get here, but it sure beat having a repairman come and having to pay him $200 or $300 to fix this. So, and by the way, I am not a plumber. So you can see the bottom here of this pilot assembly and burner. Basically just unscrewing two pieces here. This bracket, and then I'll unscrew this bracket. and then essentially I'm going to remove that through this whole wall. I'll have to take this bracket out, this little rubber grommet out of the bracket. So, and then here's my replacement piece. Obviously you can see the new fitting, the new rubber, and then get it all put back together. One other thing I did do, I did get a vacuum cleaner and stick the hose in there and really clean that out. It's got a lot of, I don't know if it's just old metal chunks or what it is, but it certainly had a buildup of residue. So clean that out, and I'm sure that's not going to hurt anything. So what I've done, I've replaced this whole pilot assembly now, and really it was fairly straightforward. Just unscrewed this one and unscrewed this one, took this whole assembly out, and had to, the hard part really is to get this little rubber I don't know, seal through. So I just basically took a utility knife and cut around the edge of the old one, and then it just popped right through, and I removed the whole thing, kind of just pulled it right out. And then to get the new one in, you will basically, can't, kind of tough to see this piece, but you'll come from the back side through with this piece, this whole, all these wires and pipes and everything. They come through, you just wiggle this around a little bit, and it ends up just sealing itself right up. So right now this thing's ready to go back in. So all I'm going to do is just carefully slide this whole piece in. There's a little bracket it sits on inside there, and hopefully with a little wiggling get that in there. Once that's back in the right position, get this door on, and things will be just hunky-dory. No pun intended. That piece goes on there, and that one there. And this is kind of really the hard part, is getting this thing all lined back up. So basically what you do is connect this back into here. So I've got this piece in, and got to tighten these little nuts up here. It did come with this insulation back here. I just left the old stuff on. Looks like it was in pretty good shape. Tight there. And then I tighten these, all these fittings up. Turn the gas back on. What I want to do, I just want to turn that on really quick, and get my pilot lit up. I've just got some water mixed with soap, and once I get gas flowing through here, I'll just spray on these fittings here just to see if there's any gas leak. If there is, it'll bubble, and then I can tighten as necessary and recheck. So basically, to light this, you want to put this on pilot, push down, and this piece right here, this knob here, is going to be on pilot lighting. And you hope for a light. I'm going to shut the light off until I can see in there and see if it's lit. So I had to shut the light off, but basically once you get this lit, then you can turn that to the on position, and then just set your dial to where you want to be at. Now these are probably more of the conservative settings here. If you want it super hot, you want to go to very hot. Really just depends on your preference of hot water. If you got little kids, obviously, maybe you want to set it back in this range. Even says on there, risk of scalding with increased hot or water. So I'm just going to pop a little of this soapy water on there. I'm really not seeing much for any bubbles coming out, so it looks like I probably should be good to go there. Probably took me 15-20 minutes to replace that. 3-4 days to get the part here. So I was coming down here and constantly lighting this thing if I wanted hot water, because it will not stay on. Basically this thermocouple goes in there and it sits right on the pilot light. If the thermocouple is bad, it no longer senses when the pilot light is lit, and it just shuts everything off. Shuts from here. You don't get any gas coming through here down into your burner, and you don't get any gas down into your pilot. It's just a safety feature. Make sure that you don't burn your house down. Unfortunately, those thermocouples go bad, and at that point you just got to replace it. In this case, you've got a whole pilot assembly. But hopefully this video helps some of you folks out there. For me, it was going to be probably close to $50 just to have a plumber come out and take a look. I would have guessed it probably would have been in the range of about $200 for me to fix this through a professional. I did it myself, and it cost me $55 for parts and 20 minutes of my time for repair, and about, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour to just look this stuff up and get the right parts ordered online. So the other option you'll have, if you don't have a local or a company to go through to order your parts, you can always check in town, see what you got, but there's always somebody online a ways out that it may take. In my case, it took 4 or 5 days to get here, but I don't know, didn't bother me to have to come down here and light this thing every once in a while. So hope that helps, people. Thanks.